And now, the rest of the story. We continue our conversation with Andrew Yeager.
Remember when we did that podcast on Play It Forward and nice gestures that you do throughout the day?
Yeah.
And we talked about it.
I do kind of
like
remember
I paid
that.
for somebody's parking that was in front of me because the gate wouldn't go up, and I could tell she didn't. And she was like in shock, you know.
Yeah.
And to me, that is the most satisfaction I get out of anything is when you do that one thing. Oh, they don't have enough money for a sandwich, and they needed $1 more or whatever it may be.
To put a smile
And
on
it's
someone
like
else's
no
face.
big deal, and they're in shock because nobody does it anymore.
Yeah. You know what I'm always fascinated by living in the city is how many people will step out of your way if you're on the path. Like, I will step out of people's way, right? If I'm walking and there's people, I will move over to the left or to the right to give more room.
Isn't that what you do? I don't understand.
Well, we do
A
it,
lot of people don't.
but a lot of people don't do it.
They just
They walk right by. They will hold their line and they will not move. I'll move, and I don't mind doing it just because I feel like I'm being a better person by doing it.
Because it's the right thing to do.
Right. It's the courteous thing to do. Saying hi to someone. You could do a whole podcast on how to be courteous and how easy it is to be courteous.
right.
Okay,
and how easy it is. Kindness is free, everybody.
It doesn't take a lot to say hello.
And you get more out of it than they do.
Right.
I always say that.
A really good test is go to the airport.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I've spent a lot of time in airports or people.
I'm in such a hurry. I'm like, okay,
and my
go.
favorite story is I was flying out of LaGuardia and, I was flying a lot, so I wouldn't buy a first class ticket, but I'd just get upgraded on my miles and stuff like that. And standing there, and this guy walks up and he's just disheveled and he's mad and he's pissed. And he interrupts me and talks to the gate agent and says, "Did my upgrade go through?" And she goes, "Well, I don't know. Who are you?" And he goes, "You don't know me?"
Oh, that whole thing. Don't you know who I am?
Like
a true gate agent, because you never mess with gate agents.
Yeah.
She takes that microphone out at LaGuardia, low ceilings, hot, taps it and goes, "Excuse me, does anyone know who this gentleman is?"
Oh my God.
Because he doesn't know who he is.
That is so rich. Oh my God.
love.
And
Perfect.
and then, because I'm standing there with Linda, because we had to, we were probably seeing J. Crew or whatever. And does anyone know who this gentleman is? Because he doesn't know who he is.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to know a couple of things. First of all, I want to know, what do you think is your best quality?
I think I know my best quality. I think what I do best is I like people.
Agreed.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, same
Simple.
for you,
Yeah.
Holly. I would say the same for you.
I'm fascinated with people and their stories. And I mean, I wish I could just be walking on the street and saying, "What's your story?" Everybody has a backstory.
You should have been a
and
reporter.
you sit there and dig. And well, you know what somebody said to me a long time ago when I was living in LA? You should be an interviewer like Barbara Walters. And I go, what? But because I go, what's your backstory? I mean, I'm fascinated in everybody's backstory life. I'd love to do a book where you take a picture of the person and then you do just average people. I'm just like walking in the street of totally diverse neighborhoods all over. And then you hear these stories about their lives and you go, oh my God. Don't you love people's stories about their lives?
I do. I just a couple days ago, we're walking down the street and I said, we need to cross in the middle of the street. And Ron said, well, why? I said, because I need to say hello to that person. Oh. And he's just.
Did you know them?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Jeff, he works at the restaurant we go to often.
Okay.
And he's a great person. I hadn't seen him in a while. He hadn't seen me. So Ron's like, we're really crossing the street to say hello. I said, we will always cross the street to say hello. And I think that is, when you think about what I like people,
Same.
Okay, my second question is, how do you feel about being a grandpa?
well, I'm still going to do Botox.
Really?
But you do Botox. The good thing is,
I was
I
going to
can't
say,
tell.
he does look damn
Well,
good.
You
look
I want to go to
great.
your guy.
Yeah, it's a girl.
Okay, whatever. You're a woman. I'm sorry. Yeah,
You know,
I'm sorry.
I think I'm when I was told I was going to be a grandfather, my whole life changed. And it seems a little bit weird, but now when I think about it, 6 months from now, I'm going to have a little little son, little
Yeah.
grandson, right? And I'm already thinking about a million ways I'm going to spoil him, how I'm going to cause havoc in Ailish's life, how I'm going to, make him, when he's old enough, I'm going to give him a sailor's hat from West Marine and tell him it's the best thing he's ever worn. So he wears it all the time because it'll just drive Ailish and Diego nuts. I'm thinking about how I'm not only going to teach him how to make a martini, but how I'm going to push him down in the stroller across from Tavern on Rush and Bellevue and Gibson's and have everybody sitting out front saying, look at that old timer. You must have a young girlfriend. And
I didn't even
But the
think
thing
about
is,
that.
you don't look old.
I know, but
because he's got all the Botox.
Yeah, but you're a
and
little boy.
cosmetics.
You got a
cosmetics.
little
Yeah,
boy.
and I just love it. I can't wait.
Are you wearing a base, baby?
No.
No base coat?
But I do. I'm looking
Doesn't look
forward
like
to
he
that.
needs it.
Looking forward to it for sure.
Oh, I'm
that's
so happy
sweet.
for you.
Yeah. I'm finding myself resisting to buy stuff. Mm-hmm. I've already bought the high chair. Like
Ron's like, we don't have any more room here.
yeah. No, I'm shipping it directly to their house. They can deal with it.
But you're going
okay.
to need stuff at your house
Oh, yeah.
for your grandson.
They're not going to be staying that long.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, got it.
Maybe when they turn 4 or 5, but
Got it,
when they're,
got it.
I openly admit I'm not a real good baby dad. I'm a
Right.
really good 3, 4, 5, that kind of
I get
that
it.
age bracket. But
I
the
get it.
crying baby thing is hard.
I don't think anybody likes that. I don't know.
It's hard.
Especially at our age, we like to sleep through the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're lucky enough
Yeah.
to sleep through the night.
Yeah.
Well, Holly, you having 3. I remember we'd drive home from Lake Bluff, and I was like, oh, he's got 3 kids. You're not man to man. You're zone.
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
It's a blur. And then you see other people.
And then you
But,
catch up on your sleep for years later.
Yeah. catch
You know
up
what
on
was
sleep.
so fun, Lisa, is at this last Halloween party, at the last 4th of July party, is I was looking around at, Holly, when we first started doing it, we were having beer bongs. Tom was going crazy,
Oh.
right? We
Well,
had a crazy time, and all
was
the
like-
kids were young.
DJs.
Wait, was
and
this most recent?
No.
You're talking about in the past.
In the past.
I used to
Oh,
have
okay.
a DJ, caterer, bartender. I mean, this party was 200 people.
Yeah.
You could. It was like wall to wall, and it was probably 100 degrees a couple of years.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh my god, on that rickety rackety deck that was like ready to fall apart, and it was crazy. And then the kids got older, and I got more scared because high school, everybody in the entire world would party at Caulfield's.
Yeah.
And they're all
Oh,
underage,
God.
and I'm like, oh my god, do not die on my property. It was crazy.
What was good about
No,
it?
it was
Lord.
super crazy.
What was good about it is your parties did get exponentially bigger, but all of those kids that were 5 and then they turned 10 and 15 and whatever, they all became our bartenders. So we, and I would always say, make my Bloody Mary
Harper.
prom strong.
Yeah.
So it was always fun.
Prom
but-
strong?
Prom strong.
Prom strong.
I've
I
never
love
heard that
Okay,
phrase.
wait, we got to get on Canva
Prom
with some T-shirts
strong.
here.
But what I was going to say is this year I look around and all those kids that were making it prom strong and were
like
young, they're
30.
all now 30, they're having kids. And all of us old people that were out crazy, we're all in the house where it's air conditioned.
Yeah.
We're like,
I'm
"It's
like,
too
well,
hot
I
out
can't
there."
get too drunk today because I have to drive home. It's
Right. How did this happen? Is this
It's
just
a
a
cool-
natural
It's
progression?
a cool evolution of
It is.
how we grow, get older, and our
Yeah.
lives. Okay, so we want to.
Yeah, except I have one more question.
Oh, okay.
I want to know about Synapse. You're a board member at Synapse. I want to know what
yes,
it is.
Synapse is
I wanna
very
know-
important to us.
Yeah, I want to know
We
about
took a deep
that.
dive into that.
So through a mutual friend, Jeff, who's my best friend, my accountant, he's my best friend. He was my neighbor when we moved into 2020. And through his connection, I met this individual named Deb, and Deb started Synapse House. And that's actually, she's written 2 books in English and in Spanish because she created a nonprofit home for people that have head injuries.
Oh.
And most people with head injuries look normal, somewhat seem normal, but they can't tie a shoe or they can't do basic knife work. They can't do anything, right? They just are. It's not working. There's no synapse.
CTI.
Oh,
Yep.
Synapse. That's where it came from.
Right.
Oh, that makes sense now. So CTI people who find a home who are unable to function.
so sad.
They're having some. They need rehab, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, if they have insurance, lucky to have insurance, they time out, and then they're pushed back to the family members, for which then the family members has to take on the responsibility of trying to teach them what to do, right? And unfortunately, a majority of the members are Hispanic males at the age of like 18 to 20 who refuse to wear a seatbelt and have a head injury because
So-
it's not, it's not cool
To wear
to wear a
seat-
seatbelt.
And then they're having
That's sad.
And so they're hitting their head on the windshield. They're going through the window. They're going through whatever. They're crashing their motorcycle.
Oh my
And they're
God.
having traumatic head injuries. And so,
Wow.
those were typically who we would see a lot of. And they would be frustrated. The parents would be frustrated because they've got an 18-year-old. You imagine an 18-year-old son who's, frustrated because they can't do anything.
Communicate.
Yeah, communicate.
That is such a startling subset to me. I don't know why I find that just strange.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so
Hispanic
sad.
males 18 to 20.
Yeah.
that won't wear their seatbelt.
That won't wear their seatbelts.
So, what's your involvement with them, and what kind of charity events do you have?
So I was really, really active with it, but since a couple of years ago, I've kind of stepped back that because she's kind of you got to at a certain point you got to tap out.
Life
you got to
cycles, yeah.
and you got to let other people come in with new ideas and
Right.
So for a number of years, I held a lot of fundraisers where we would reach out to the medical community and auction off sporting equipment and things like that. And I remember one time I was auctioning off a basketball shoe that was like a size 17, and I was wearing it around.
Oh, you mean you had 2 feet in
It's
it?
basically
Is
a
it
slalom,
Shaq?
a slalom
Shaq's
ski.
feet?
Yeah.
And so, but creatively through my help with Jeff, I realized that I was going to donate a bunch of stuff, and then I would rebuy it. So Jeff would say, you've got the best Ponzi scheme going here. You give it, you donate it, and then you buy
Oh,
it.
you write it off and then you write it off again. Get it?
yeah.
Yeah.
You donate $1,000 piece and then you buy it for $1,000 back.
Oh,
but you write off $2,000.
Hey, but it all goes
Versus
to a good
one
But
cause.
it all goes to a good charity.
Yeah.
I did that a little bit. But it was so Jeff goes,
good
you're not
idea.
the smartest guy. You graduated Seattle U with a 1.9. And,
Oh, yes.
you-
You've
you-
obviously
it-
demonstrated you're an idiot.
And
Yeah.
you figured out this scheme, and I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing here.
Yeah, but I want my shoe back.
Yeah, exactly. But I'd like my shoe back.
Yeah.
So if you go to my house, and I when we were coming over
We got to
here,
come down there to the pool.
the pool, yeah,
Oh, God.
the pool.
Well,
The pool.
Rooftop. It's
okay.
on Astor Street. Hello.
We were coming over here, and I said to Tom and Holly, I said to Holly, I was like, I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I'm excited to spend time with both of you. I mean, I love what you guys are doing. I'm glad I could be. You asked me,
Of
you asked
course.
me at 4th of July to come up here. I'd forgotten about it till Ron reminded me.
Like,
And I said, what are we going to talk about?
I
So
knew we would just roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been fun, and appreciate your time.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
we so appreciate you.
very much.
Oh, my
just
God.
anything to say about that Rolls Royce scent?
Oh,
yeah.
I just
backtrack.
sorry. And then we're going to close out, but
Yeah.
I got to know.
So when
I've sniffed a Rolls
they-
Royce inside, so I just want to know.
I got to know.
Oh, okay. Now I really want to hear.
What were you doing sniffing around?
None of your business.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when they came out with the brand new Rolls Royce, it was modern. It had all the new modernness in it, and they went out to a group of Rolls Royce owners that have had, families have had Rolls Royces that
Right.
they weren't
They
just
always
a one
buy
and done.
one.
They
Yeah.
buy one and it stays in the family. Buy two, whatever.
Yeah.
And I've rented a Rolls Royce, but I've never owned a Rolls Royce. But when they took their consumer group out and drove them around in the in the Rolls Royce, they were saying, it feels like a Rolls Royce. It looks like a Rolls Royce. It drives like a Rolls Royce. Something's off. So they realized, because every car is scented and sprayed, they realized that the spray and the scent that they were putting in the Rolls Royce with the leather did not feel or smell like a Rolls Royce.
Oh.
Whatever that's supposed to smell like.
Well, I'll tell you
But
what it
you
smells
would
like.
expect
They
that.
added.
I want it to smell like an MG, but
Well, yeah, MGBTT. But
you got that right, baby.
they realized that the scent that they were putting into the Rolls Royce needed one aspect that was missing. What do you think that was?
Wait, let me think.
What
leather.
do you think it is?
I mean, a leather,
right?
aroma.
But there was one note that was missing on that
Musk?
scent. Horse shit. So they actually.
Oh my God, that makes sense.
So they actually added a note of horse shit, but not really horse shit, but the scent of
No,
horse
it's
shit.
that scent of a
It's that
horse.
horse and shit.
That
and it
horsey
was.
smell.
They started spraying all of their new Rolls Royces with that.
Okay, between an MG
BGT.
which that's when I fell in love with that scent, and horses, which were my first love. I mean, like, I want you to be my boyfriend, you horse.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get it. No,
Yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
get-
I'm
I
sorry,
don't
but
get that part.
look, I had a crush on Mr. Ed. I can't
whoa.
deny it.
Whoa. Now we're getting deep.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying. I first time I got around a horse, and I was in the MG, whatever, and I went, okay, this is it for me for life. So I totally get that.
So if you got in that car today with that scent and you had a picture of Mr. Ed or your horse, you would have so many memories, not just of that horse and your first love of that horse, but everything that was going on in your life at that time.
Yeah.
Your boyfriend, your mom, your dad, the house you lived in.
I was 5,
all of
but
that.
yeah.
Yeah, well, you'd be amazed.
Mr. Ed was my boyfriend.
At 5?
Yeah. Well, whenever he came out, or maybe I was 7.
Yeah.
Whenever Mr. Ed
you're
came
not-
out. No, I was, I guess, 7 when Mr. Ed came out, and I had an immediate crush, and it was coupled with the MG smell. And to this day, I can still remember that. So yeah, Scent Air, maybe it was a minor part of but it was a culmination of every sensory experience that people are feeling, and that
Scent is really important. It's not. I mean, I find myself really.
right
you
now.
walk into a restaurant and it stinks.
Oh yeah,
Like you could smell the bathroom or something.
Ooh.
I'm out.
We did do a lot of nursing homes and assisted living because
They always have a smell.
Because-
that's not cool.
and they're very expensive. So when you would walk into a nursing home, and if you smelled something that was a little foul when you walked in, people would turn around and walk right back out. But if they walked in and it smelled clean and inviting and the lighting was right, people would engage and more than likely sign up their relative or their parent to go there. That is an interesting thing. Memory care on the scent too. Some assisted living continual care facilities will use scent to wake up people
okay.
and to chill them down.
Okay.
So
Wow.
Yeah. I know there's certain scents that
Like lavender, chill
I was
them
gonna say a
down.
mint
Yeah.
or something, or
and they do that too
And you go,
to help them with their medications too. If they have to take evening medications, a scent plays into that. So there's a lot of scent work that can be done that's interesting. Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't mean to get us diverted from our
oh my God,
lockout
this was like
here,
the best
but
interview we've ever done in our entire lives. We are going to have to promote this big time.
do have to end this interview because
We do.
I am overstimulated by the thought of the MGBT and
Oh, boy.
Mr. Ed and
Okay.
all that surrounds that scent-wise. So I have to be alone.
Okay.
Well, and Holly, we all have to go to a fundraiser.
And we have to go to fundraiser.
That was
speaking
an
of
hour ago.
beef, well, it started, actually the music started at 5:30.
Oh, okay.
Beef
For
for Hunger.
Oh, definite shout out.
Whose
Yep.
founder we
We interviewed Greg.
Yeah.
last
Yeah,
what was
yeah.
that, October or November?
Yeah, it was right before Ribfest, maybe. Or something like that.
So October, and what a delightful man. And we can't stress enough, beefforhunger.org.
We provide fresh meat to food banks.
Yes.
Everything is donated. It comes from the grocery store. So we do fresh protein, which comes in nice big chubs of fresh beef.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going tonight, and we're going to hopefully raise some money.
Get
for
out there and
Beef for
volunteer
Hunger.
because a little bit will help. A lot.
You have been a delight.
Oh,
Oh, thanks, Lisa.
fascinating. I mean, fascinating. Like I went real deep. Like I just knew Andrew. Andrew just texted me. Okay, so let's wrap it up.
Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. Thank you, Holly, for bringing him here.
Oh, he was such a
And Tom, thank you for the cocktail. All right, let's go listen to some music.
Let's go listen to
Okay.
some music. Follow us on Instagram. Please subscribe and give us a rating and a
And
review.
review.
Just let us know what you're thinking because we love to know, and that will drive our future podcasts. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Say bye, Andrew.
Bye. Mr. Ed says hello.
Ooh. Thanks, Harvey. Ladies Who Question is executive produced and edited by me, Lisa Dominique, and also executive produced by Holly Caulfield. Holly also does most of our research, and Claire Caulfield is in charge of technical assistance and social media. Music, My Lionheart. Sketch music by Florian Manx and Matthew Anderson. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe, follow, rate, and review Ladies Who Question on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Send your thoughts to ladieswhoquestion@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, and our website, ladieswhoquestion.com.
All content discussed on Ladies Who Question are the opinions of Lisa Dominique and Holly Caulfield and should not be construed as advice of any kind. By listening to this podcast, you agree not to use this podcast as advice of any personal or medical issue for yourself or others. This disclaimer also applies to guests or contributors to the podcast.